Today, the chapter we'll be focusing on is microorganisms. So, whether it is our friend or it is the foe, right? And we'll be studying more about the diagrams, and eventually we'll see what is coming to our way. So, first, what do you understand by a microorganism? So, a microorganism is very tiny little organisms which is all around us. Like we are surrounded by millions and millions of microorganisms, right? And these are so small and so tiny that we can't see them with the naked eye. We need an instrument to see these organisms. They are so tiny. So these organisms can be seen through microscope. So microscope, they are like of microscopic in size, very tiny, and they cannot be seen with the naked eye, and they can only be seen through a microscope, and so they are called microorganisms. So these organisms are very small. It is of microscopic in size, and we can see these organisms through microscope, and hence this is called microorganisms. Clear? So you have seen several kinds of plants and animals. However, there are other living organisms around us also that we cannot see. This is also called microbes. For example, you might have observed that during the rainy season, moist bread gets spoiled and its surface gets covered with a grayish white patches. Have you seen ever? Like a bread, in a bread you see white, grayish white patches. So let's observe it next time. And if you see through a magnifying glass, you will see tiny black surrounded structures. So this is a form of microorganism that have grown in that bread. So microorganisms, you can observe, like this observation shows that water and soil are full of tiny organisms. In our water, the soil, full of these tiny organisms. So not all of them fall into the same category of microbes. There are different types of microorganisms. These microorganisms or microbes are all very small and then cannot be seen. So now focus on this part, that how there are several types of microorganisms. So among them, the major groups are bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and algae. So what are the types of microorganism is the second question of the day. That is bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and algae. Right? Now, there are viruses also. Viruses are also microscopic. And nowadays, you know that this, like a very common example of virus is coronavirus, right? And they are so dangerous as well. They reproduce only inside the cell of a host organism. They cannot reproduce like that. They need a host. They need someone else's body to reproduce. So which may be bacteria, bacteria can also be a host, or any plant or animals. And now you can see that in humans also they can grow. So some of the viruses are like very common cold and cough, the influenza, flu, etc. Polio, chicken pox, all these are the virus. Viruses like this disease like dysentery, malaria are caused by protozoa, whereas typhoid and tuberculosis are the bacterial disease. So you have to know what kind of microorganism causes what kind of disease.